flip the culture. Amplifying the voice of athletes. Finally speaking, they gotta feel this. Taking control of the story we live. Turn every loss to a lesson we give. Giving hope to the next generation.
What's up, y'all? It's your boy Josiah Kenty with Flip the Culture, where the culture won't change until we do. Got an amazing guest, Jaylyn Sherrod here, Birmingham native, Ramsey High School standout. I say even WJ Christian standout. You know what I'm saying? You always stood out to me. But I'm honored to have you inside the chair. I want to really pick your brain and ask you questions that's going to pull out some things in you that'll help this next generation. Because I know we was talking offline about like not really seeing yourself here, but like now we here, right? Yeah. So thank you, welcome.
For sure, man. I'm glad to be here. I'm glad to see that you're doing this too. You know, that's big, especially in the city of Birmingham. And kids really, I feel like, don't even really know what's come out of Birmingham for real. You know, people that walk among them on the day-to-day.
Yeah.
For real. So
yeah, man. So I'm gonna start off with just a question that, to be honest, we might not be asked all the time. And what was the moment, if you can remember, a time where you said, "Man, just bump basketball. Like I'm done."
I ain't gonna lie to you, man. I kind of sit in that a lot. My coach at Colorado will tell you every time it snowed out there, I told her I was transferring and I was done. So it just kind of went with what I was mad about that day, for real. But it's always been like, I would say for me, the hardest moment was probably when I had to sit out that sophomore year at Colorado. I had to have season-ending hip surgery. And that recovery, it was during COVID, so, you know, I woke up in the hospital by myself. Couldn't really have, like, my family came out there, my mom and dad came out there and helped me, and that helped me a lot, but it was just, you know, that's a different mentality of grind, you know, that's not a push through, get it out the mud type. That's you gotta sit down and relearn how to walk, relearn how to, you know, maneuver your body. A lot of painful nights, sitting in the machine. I had to sleep on my back for a couple months. And I was really like, bro, I don't know if this, like, and this even work. Am I going to come back the same? You know, my speed is everything. So am I still going to be able to move at that level? And then, you know, getting there and you can start working out again, but you can't use your legs. So you do a number of upper body for months. And it was like, bro, what am I even doing? You know, like, this throwing off this my body feel unproportionate. I feel weaker in the bottom half than I do at the top. Is it gonna balance itself out? It was just a lot of questions. So I would definitely say that was probably one of the hardest moments where I had to sit there and look in the mirror and be like, bro, I don't really, you know, what's the other side of this? Because I've never dealt with no season, you know, innings, anything up to that point. And even then, I was very combative on even having the surgery. I had to sit on the phone with Coach O and my mom for hours, and they were like, look, you're going to get this year back. It's COVID. Go have surgery. And then it sucked even more because we had just came off a win against the number one team in the country. And I'm like, bro, I'm not, what? Like, we popping right now, bro. Yeah. Like, I know ain't nobody in the stands or nothing, but, bro, like, we just beat the number one team in the country, bro. Like, and this is going to be my last game. So, yeah, I would definitely say that was probably that moment. I just hit a wall, and I was, you know, really find the love, find the joy, find the me again with that. So,
So like, you know, I've had moments where I, like, in the game, I know the exact moment that I feel the reaction of why my body feel the way it do. Like, it could be a fall, it could be a and one shot, right? And like everybody scream, but it's like the way you feel, it's like, I'm gonna feel this later on.
Yeah.
So, like, take us back to moments where like fans would celebrate a certain output that you were able to give, but you're left to deal with the realization of what it actually did to your body.
I can say that's often too, man. Like, I mean, I feel like as I get older, you take some of them hits where you just gotta sit on the floor for a second and, you know, take you a minute, take you a breather. But I mean, before and after I had that surgery. Before I had the surgery, hits would just compound on top of each other, and we would kind of manage them as much as possible. But then it got to the point where we going out there playing basketball, practicing, hooping, playing games, but I couldn't drive 10 minutes without being in pain. Like, and once it hit that point, it was like this affecting your life. And then after that, it's just this. You gotta psych yourself out. Like, I can get hit again because I was really like coming off of this surgery. I was like, hey, bro, like I'm not driving as hard or I'm not being as aggressive as I used to be because I'm scared to take a hit because I don't know how I'm gonna bounce back.
Yeah.
I haven't been in this position in almost 9 months to a year, so I don't really know how my body gonna feel, or I don't even want to go down there because I'm not really. But that wasn't set my team up for success, so I had to get over that mental hurdle. So I think it's a lot mentally that goes into it that people really don't see or didn't get to see, especially with me, because like I said, it started getting to the point where I couldn't sit down 10-15 minutes drive 10-15 minutes without being in pain, and that's when we really had to make a decision of like this affected more than just basketball. This your livelihood too.
Yeah. So to my understanding, WNBA is way different than the NBA, right? Like you guys, the summers are different.
Right.
The way that you prepare for the season is different. So and then also with your personal journey, you've been a part of different locker rooms, like in mid-season transition, right? So you know what you bring to the table, but a lot of times people just see on the surface level what a athlete may bring. Athletes bring different. Just even belief systems. Athletes bring baggage from old team culture that they may have to relearn, but as they're relearning that culture, you still have to output something on the court that benefits the overall team. So how were you able to manage that transition into different spaces while still putting out what you came to do?
I'm not gonna lie, I think I struggled with that early on, because you never wanna. I feel like when you come from college and people know you and people love you for who you are, and you really are in a safe space, and I also didn't experience that because I didn't transfer. I stayed off 5 years at one university, so I didn't really have to deal with a lot of different and blessed enough too. Our core at that point, we was together 2-3 years, so we knew each other. We grew up together at that point. Same head coach, not a lot of changes, so going to the W was kind of like, okay, how do I fit in, or in a sense, how do I come into a locker room where with a lot of people that I don't know, that know each other, that have played together, that have known each other for years because they've just known each other through being in the league, and still find a way to be myself. So I feel like early on I was really quiet, just observant, I'm trying to read the room, but when it came to on the court, I don't know how to do nothing else but be myself, So, it was just a mentality of like, I'm gonna still be Jaylyn, and you gonna love me for it or you're not. Kind of that was the mentality you had to take, because I mean, at the end of the day, and I'm telling myself this now going into year 3, because I feel like in year 2 I kind of took a step back as well, but at the end of the day, you can't forget what got you there either. It's a lot that you can add, it's a lot that you can grow, it's a lot that you can put in your bag, but you also got to remember what got you there, and you got to also remember, the hunger and the drive and the passion that you play with, because when you are in spaces where you're not, that's not the norm, or that's not, that team's identity, you can kind of shy away from it. But I think it's important to, just stay true to who you are, not get lost in who everybody else is or what everybody else does, because they brought you there for a reason. You made it there for a reason, and I think that's something I have to consistently remind myself of too.
So like, what do you do to take yourself back? Because I know you do it, because you say you remind yourself now, but like taking yourself back to like Lil J, you feel me? Like picking up the ball bigger than yourself. Like, what are some things that remind you of that, Jaylyn? Like, even though now you're in the space where like there's a whole lot more pressure on you.
I think just remembering what I do it for, honestly, like stuff like that camp, bro, them kids don't really realize, like, I needed that more than they did, because it just give you that sense of, like, this is really bigger than you. And I always thought my purpose, I always believe my purpose is bigger than me, because, I mean, like I said, if you would ask me 10 years ago what I wanted to do in my life, man, like, yeah, I played basketball, but I wasn't planning on going to the league. Like, it was like I said, it was a means to an end, in terms of I was a only child growing up in a single parent household. I didn't want my mom to have no debt for me to go to school, and I knew basketball was a way for me to go to school for free. So I think for me, it's moments like that, or it's moments where it's like, man, get hungry again, like just sitting there telling yourself. I literally wrote it in my notebook yesterday as I was having Bible study, man, you gotta find that hunger again, because I drive off of that hunger. I drive off of just a sense of proving myself right and achieving it at a high level. And that's just something that I want to get back to. Not to say it never left, but like I said, when you're trying to navigate a new space, you're more concerned about, how do I navigate this space? What space do this team needs me in? Because, New York is different from Minnesota, and Minnesota's different from New York, and their playing styles are different. And it's just like, you going to Minnesota, and they're the number one team in the league. You're not gonna change the MO of this team. So it's like, okay, so where do I fit in and still be a good teammate, and still trying to find my way around all these new people that I'm meeting in August, So I think it was just a lot of change and a lot of navigating, but now it's to the point where it's like, man, okay, cool, you're in a new space, a new environment that kind of aligns more to who you are as a player, with great people around you. What's next? Like, okay, now how do you take off? Because it's year 3, so you know what it is, you know what it look like. What is the next step for you?
Yeah, and I love volunteering at the camp. Now, I'm gonna be real. Basketball was never my thing. Like when I was at WJ, I think you was in the 6th grade, and I was in 8th grade. Or you might have been in the 5th. I don't know how much younger you are, but I got kicked off in the 7th grade from the basketball team because my grades slipped during football season.
Gotcha.
So 8th grade was my only year. Now I was one of the ones put me in the game whenever the starters was tired, right? And they know I was gonna end up fouling out if you leave me in there long enough. Cause I was just a football player. I was physical. I'm like, bro, there ain't no foul. Like, toughen up.
Right.
But I knew that wasn't my thing, right? But going out there and volunteering with the kids, man, like even in a missed layup, like I'm doing push-ups on the side. Cause I'm like, in my mind, shoot, if I miss a pass, we doing push-ups on the side. But it did a lot for me to see you out there with the kids interacting, because I've been to numerous accounts where athletes, they got the camera crew around them, got shades on, they don't have no athletic wear on, and they just there for like publicity, and the volunteers not even out there doing whatever, like they in there for the show, and they just capitalizing on the kids. But what I saw there, and I want you to talk about it, like how the energy was able to be sustained from start to finish. How did the vision of saying, man, you know what, like, matter of fact, I don't even want to put words in your vision. Like, how did it start from the vision of saying, man, I want to give back, to it being something that's not just a vision, it's impact from start to finish?
I say the vision came, well, this was year 3, so about 3, maybe actually 4 years ago, me and Coach O, we started talking about it, talking about the opportunities of, basketball and the camps and the kids, and how kind of started to see the slippage of, I feel like sports have slipped regardless if I'm just keeping it a stack, but started to see slippage and starting to see like the lack of opportunities that these kids have. And I have been at James camps for years, so seeing what James came back home and did, Mike came back home and did, and so it was just kind of like from there it was like, all right, so how do we start talking about it? So about a year before we actually took off with the first camp, we started talking about the vision. At that point in time, I didn't know if I just wanted to do girls or include all kids. But then I was like, all right, this first year, let's do, all kids, see how many we get to sign up. But it's gonna be completely free. Like, we'll take care of everything. And try to get these kids something that, they could do. Not And it's never in the summertime because I'm also, in season during the summer. So finding a good time to do it, but finding a good time to do it that is around basketball season as well, for them. So it took a lot of planning, a lot of conversations, but we took off that first year, had it at Parker. We didn't have the turnout we had this year. Obviously, it has grown tremendously over the years, but from that, saw how that worked, saw the energy that was poured into it. And that was still when I was in Colorado, so it had been on my heart to find a way to get back to the community that raised me. And then after that, year after year, we just continue to grow, continue to, have more people pour into it, to where we able to give kids balls, or we able to, give them book bags. And like I said, it's always completely free. And just finding people that also shares the same love for giving back as you. I think it's easy to give back when people know that you, as the person whose name on it, is willing to give your all to. So it's like, ain't nobody better than nobody here. We all working, we all, and how can I ask anybody else to pour in a lot of energy if I'm not going to pour in a lot of energy? And so I would definitely say just finding people with, like-mindedness of you. And then, just keeping the energy, man, because it's like, bro, it's 4 hours out of your day. You don't really get a lot of opportunity to do things like this. And at the same time, man, these kids who parents have brought them from here and there, and it's like, man, why not, man? Like, it's free, but let's not, like Coach O always say, it's free, but let's not make it look free, So, and just give them experience that, they can take some from, because it's not a lot of experience like this for kids in the city. So it's like, it's just bigger than all of us at this point. And even if you touch, out of that 125, 130, you only touch one kid, man, you did something. So that's kind of how I look at it.
So, like, when I look at your social media, you putting it on. You got it on now. You just like, man, I'm chilling. You know what I'm saying?
Workouts after this.
You know what I'm saying? But you still put it on. So like from the aesthetic, right? Like, let's say like a kid go to your social media, they see you coming in before the game, they got the snaps going, you posting it. But like, what are some things that you're doing behind the scenes financially that's setting you up for success, like from a legacy standpoint?
Honestly, believe it or not, man, I don't like spending my money. Like, I feel like people think you got it like that and you spend it. And don't get me wrong, there is certain conveniences that I will pay for out of convenience, because it's like I work for it, or it's like I got so much to do that I have to pay for this and I have to get it done. So I would say certain conveniences, but also a lot of things that people see. Honestly, I partner with a lot of people. Like last season, worked with a girl who she actually works for Alabama A&M, their women's basketball team. I don't know her direct position, so I don't want to lie. Her name's Journey. And I was like, hey, I like the way you dress. I like your style. I like what you do. Would you mind covering me for this next season? And that's how you start working with people, and then brand deals start working with her. So she would send me stuff from brands that I didn't even have to cover, or something that she had a vision for, and putting it together. So I think that's a lot of things are partnerships, collaborations, talking to people, and so finding the best way not to spend my money, man, because it's like if you are up and coming, fashion designer, clothing line, and you want me to work with you, and I'll wear it, promote it, take pictures in it, post it, and that's kind of how you work with people. Because also I like to work with a lot of black owned anything. I love black owned anything. So if you got a black owned clothing line, if you a photographer, if you videographer, anybody, you know, that I could, you know, touch that could also help me for what I'm vision or my vision is. Let's do it, you know. So I think that's a lot of who I am too, is trying to work with people, trying to meet people and converse with so many other people that, you know, it grows, you know, my knowledge, and it grows, you know, just your networking and your, my next door neighbor, he make clothes.
Mm-hmm.
Hit him up the other day and got some more like sweatsuits from him, because it's like, I grew up with you, man. We was in the backyard together. Y'all was the 1st people I played basketball with. Why not, you know, work with you, wear an outfit, put your clothes on it, and take pictures and post it. And who knows, man, somebody in the comments might say, where you got your sweatsuit from? And now you putting your neighbor on, and you just continue to grow like that. So that's just the type of person I am, though. It's always about, you know, keeping it, you know, in the family and helping the people around you too.
What I think is beautiful about that is that you identify the talent and the gift inside somebody, but you're not exploiting it.
Yeah, for sure.
Because like people, they use people up, man. Like for their gift, and like you use them up to the point where they may feel like they're like irrelevant, or they be like, dang man, like that's not a good person. But what I heard you say, and correct me if I'm wrong, that other person has to also be willing to like give you something as well, because I believe there's a spiritual transaction inside the collaboration. I believe networking is necessary, but I believe more so, and I heard a lady say this, believe more so inside of the net weave process, like to say that you're woven together inside of something together. I mean, with someone together, that means that if something stops working and the net breaks, we gonna stick in this thing together to figure it out, to make sure that like we keep on building this net. But with networking, sometimes it's so much on the surface level where like people just want what they want, and that's that. Unfortunately, that's the world that we live in. But I did want to point that out, that like it's true collaboration with you.
Yeah, for sure. I'm not the type, like, you can just, I feel like you can just get a read on something that's genuine or not. And people try to like, and I've had crazy ash sometimes. It's like, hey, yo, I need you to connect me with Fee. I need you to connect me with the stud buzz. And it's like, bro, like, for what, bro? Like, what really is you bringing to the table? Because, you know, like, y'all talking to me, and these are people that's even, like, you know, they got the brand deals, they got this, they got so much going for them that it's like, come on now, be realistic, too. You know what I'm saying? And it's not no knock to them, or not no knock to the people that's asking, but it's like, what are you really asking for? Like, what's your genuine intentions in this? Because it's bigger than me. Like, what I look like going to a teammate or going to anybody, you know, asking for something, and it's not a serious or a genuine intent behind it. And I think that's with anything. Like, people, you just, you know, people think because you just got contact with people, or because you in the same space as people, you can just, you know, anything is. And it's like, nah, man, it don't work like that. Because I wouldn't want nobody to come to me, put me in no position like that. And I wouldn't put nobody that's been around me in no position like that either. Because that's just not my MO. And that's just not how we move, you know.
I think that's just a courtesy, too. It's like, man, you got to be able to protect your circle. Because if you go outside of your circle, people automatically think that the people that you have access to, they automatically have access to. I think it goes more so into childhood too. Like, let's say if we friends and we got a third friend that's there, you mad at that third friend, but you want me to be mad at her too. It's like on the opposite end of that, it's like, man, how I feel like that's immature of an adult to be able to say like they want you to embody their own personal wants. And then communicate that to somebody else, and then them communicate access back to, like, I'm not a third wheel, I'm not a third person to gain access to this. And I get what you're saying. Like, I have been a connector or a mediator between certain connections, but it's because like you said, like the discernment of knowing somebody's true intentions.
For sure. For sure.
And then also like you also if a person come to you and you have a relationship with them as well, you know whether or not that intention is good because they've done it so many different times in the past.
And you also just know what people going for. Like,
Yeah.
it's certain people or certain situations. I already know them. They not going for that. So I'm not finna put you in no position out of respect because I know the answer you get is not gonna be the answer you want.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna just have to go and cut that right now and say I can't make that shape, man, because I'm not. You know, that's just. I don't know. That's odd to me, honestly. If I'm keeping this stack with you, it do be odd, but.
This is Coach O had told me this one time. He was like, man, everybody in the room have a prayer that they haven't had answered yet.
Right.
And but when my mind was like, let's say right now, somebody like a homeless person or something is asking for a Rolls Royce. Like, man, I want a Rolls Royce, man. That's my dream car. And God give it to him. It's like, you give it to him, but how you gonna maintain it?
Right.
Like, do you even know like what type of gas it take? Like, are you knowledgeable over these things to maintain the thing that you're really asking for?
Yeah.
And I feel like even from just me self-reflecting too, it's like, man, I asked for a full ride scholarship, but I didn't know the business side that came with that. And NIL didn't exist back then. Right. So like my question to you is, you know, you're walking into something that you didn't ask for. But what was that moment that it clicked with you to say, you know, what I committed to, it's on me to continue to love the game.
Yeah.
This right here is a business.
Yeah.
So like, what was that moment like for you?
Honestly, I think for me it's just a matter of understanding what you ask for, like you said, and understanding that ain't nothing in life free. You know, like, it's crazy you just said that because I was having Bible study yesterday and I was really just sitting in understanding that, you know, sometimes we ask God to pull us out of things or always removing things or take us out of this storm and this and that, but sometimes God allows you to sit in your storms because he needs you to understand something within it, you know. And I feel like right now I'm in a season of my life where I'm just trying to understand almost like the best way to put it, like, he wants me to get something in this right now. You know, like, I feel like with my job and my work ethic, man, I can be great at anything. That's just, I just psyched myself out on that already. It's nothing that nobody could tell me I couldn't work at and figure out and be great at. That's just always been me, but it's something about that learning how to stand 10 toes on who you are in whatever room you walk in, and that's what I'm learning right now. Because it is easy to, when you're such a passionate, fiery person like I am, especially on the court, it is easy to kind of sit back, observe first, and see if it's safe to do that.
Yeah.
Before just walking in and saying, to hell if it's safe or not. But if you like me, you like me. If you don't, you don't.
Yeah.
And I feel like as I'm growing older, that's kind of something that I'm starting to learn. So to answer your question, I feel like it's just like everything in life is a business. I feel like that's the best way I can answer. Nothing's free. Even, you know, on a spiritual level, you know, God isn't transactional, but there are some things that he said that, like, you gonna have to work at. He never said it wouldn't be storms.
Yeah.
He never said it wouldn't be weapons. He said weapons formed against you shall prosper.
Yeah.
He never said they wouldn't be there. He said they gonna form. He just said they wouldn't prosper. So I think once you start to look at it like that, it's like, all right, things happen, life happens, life is life. Like, everybody go through their trials and tribulations, but how do you handle them? I think it's the biggest thing, and that goes to the business. How do you handle it? Like, it was very hard for me when I went to New York, had a great preseason, got cut, and I had to come back home and just sit there. That was probably one of the hardest times because it was like, man, I worked hard at this. I feel like I did, good enough, and how the league is set up at the time. You could, some teams couldn't carry 12; they could only carry 11 because that's all the pay they had, or that's all they could afford. So it's like you work at it, you grind, and you get told no. But I had to come back here and still work out. I still had to stay ready, and that was a hard time because it was like, what am I staying ready for?
Yeah.
What really am I working towards? What really am I, you know, trusting the process? What process? For a lot of times it was like, what process am I even trusting?
Yeah.
But it was like, all right, stay ready, got the call back, ended up, the season went how it went. So it was like, man, some stuff you just got to sit there in it, and you got to be okay sitting in it, and you got to be okay sitting in the embarrassment or the shame or whatever the case may be. But just continuing to work, because the work will speak for itself at the end of the day. So I think that's something that just kind of carries me through the business side of not just what I do, but life. Because like I said, ain't nothing free, man. Relationships, family, it's going to come with a cost.
Yeah.
I know we talked about that earlier, man. Everything come with a cost, even if it's telling certain people know that's a cost, because everything come with a cost, but it's how you handle it, and it's staying true to, I know why I'm doing what I'm doing.
Yeah.
And regardless if it's out of love, if it's out of boundaries, if it's out of respect, I know I'm doing it for a good reason. So
I got one last question. This is a question I ask all my guests, but yours is gonna be a little bit different, because of what we just ended off on. Like that moment where, like, you didn't know what the future held, but it's like, man, I don't even know what the process looked like no more. But all I know is like almost like an autopilot. Like, this is everything that I've done to get to where I am. So I'm back to a place where I gotta get to where I want to be. So, for one, it's a two-part question. What did you learn about yourself during that process, and what did winning start looking like after you stopped playing the game?
What did
winning look like after you stopped playing the game?
What did I learn? I would say probably the biggest thing is that I learned is honestly that I got a long way to go. And really like understanding that I'm a type A type person, so like, pure example, I had to camp, sat there, talked to Coach O about it, talked about how everything was gonna run out, collaborated it with Miss Nadia, typed it out. When I tell you Coach O went off script, as he does, I ain't mad at him for it. He went off script, man. And I was so like, hey man, this ain't what we playing, bro. Like, come on now. You throwing my timing off. It's in my head. I had it A to B to C. But in that, I sat with it and I took it and I was like, man, that's life though. Like, you have a plan of how you want things to go and it don't go like that. How are you gonna react to it? And the fact that Coach O can move off script like that is also amazing to see, because I don't work like that. I kind of get, either frustrated or flustered when things aren't, hey man, this is what I need, this is how it's gonna go, and that's life. So I think on the flip side, that's a learning lesson I took in 4 days ago, so that's what I mean by that. Like, it's still a lot to learn, but in learning it, also, I tell this to anybody, man, you gotta have grace with yourself. I feel like we are our own worst enemies because we spend so much time in here as humans that we don't realize that we have to be grateful with ourselves. We have to be patient with ourselves. We have to understand, like, I'm only 24, and I've accomplished a lot at 24. I gotta sit in that sometimes too, and that's what I was telling you earlier. Like, it gets hard because you always move to the next thing, or you always like, I gotta accomplish this, I gotta do that. But it's like, man, you're 24, and you've accomplished things that people want in their whole lifetime. Sit in your blessings too, because favor ain't fair, but don't fumble your favor either, because you're too worried about the next thing, or you're not really sitting in what God has already blessed you with. And then what did winning look like, man?
Like after the game.
I feel like it just looks like a sense of peace, like a sense of like you have really lived life to the fullest. I feel like, you know, life is a very fragile thing and it can be taken from any of us. But I always tell myself, you know, God forbid if I go tomorrow, what would people have to say about me?
Mm.
And if people can really just like at the end of the day, she was a good person,
Yeah.
then I did what I came to do, because it's not about. We talked about financially. We talked about giving back. It's really about how you touch people in life, man. And
Yeah.
I think that's the biggest thing to me about what life is about, is how you touch people and how people remember you. And I feel like because I'm so like reserved and quiet, people kind of look at me and don't really know what you gonna get. But and then the way I play on the court too, I done got like people think I'm really like just rah. But it's like, nah, man, I just really enjoy life. I enjoy what it's brought, and I enjoy what it's bringing, and yeah, I just want a sense of peace at the end of the day, to say I did everything I said I was gonna do, and that I walk away from it with a sense of peace, of saying, like, you know, that little kid from Pratt City who, and this was above my wildest dreams, you know, went somewhere and did something good, and I affected at least one person in life. So that's kind of the MO.
Yeah, and that's beautiful. And the reason why I asked that question is because every day since you first picked up that ball, when you took off that jersey, you were building who you are.
Mhm.
And I feel like as athletes, we forget that.
Mhm.
Like, I get so tired, and that's why I wrote the book, man, because I'm like, I got tired of people asking me, like, what are you going to do after the game?
Mhm.
Like, no, bro, like, after I got done practicing, I was working on myself. Like, after I got done playing an actual physical game, I had to go back to school. Like, I know what bothers me about life, right? Like, if we go outside right now and we see something on the side of the road that's like roadkill, it may move you in a way that lets you know you care about animals. It might not move me. Like, we talked about homelessness. It may move me, but it may not move you. So it's like there's certain things that move you, that frustrates you, that lets you know, like, you know what, there's a problem solver inside of you to address that issue. And a lot of the things, like you said, like your upbringing, right? It's like, dang, I have this opportunity through a gift to play basketball. I'm fixing that problem that I grew up in, right? So it's like, as we start considering the things after the game, it's like, it's the things that frustrated us. That's what we always did. Like, you see it with the NIL and the collective now and the transfer portal. Like, athletes are frustrated. Like, they're frustrated with their upbringing. They're frustrated with things. So now you can pull your earnings forward and you don't got to go to the league to touch that type of bread the same.
Which is insane.
So it's like, now you got people that's my age, 28 years old, where they should be considering retiring from the NFL, they're still playing college ball. You feel me? So like, it's a deeper, I think, and that's why the podcast like this exists, so that we can really go down deep and say, like, you know what, a lot of the stuff that we do is out of frustration, but it's like a lot of us haven't gotten the coaching that we needed to leverage that frustration off the court.
Yeah.
Or off the field, to be like, okay, I'm a different monster on this court, and it's like, after, I'm really a chill guy, like, I'm really a chill girl, but it's like, hold on, what if we put that same type of energy towards something that we put our hands to? Like you said, it, anything you put your hands to, you're successful at. You feel me? That's you got like a green thumb in life. I feel like all athletes have that green thumb.
Right.
It's just whatever we touch, we have to make sure that it is something that's been ordained for us to be able to address that particular issue. So like, man, I know you're gonna do well. You're gonna have a 5 season this year. Out of all the transitions that you're going through, even leading up to the season, I know you're gonna navigate them beautifully, like you always have. Ever since you were a little girl, like, for real, like, I ain't know you from a little girl, but from what I seen in middle school to high school, and from afar from college, and then even now, it's just beautiful to what you've been able to blossom into. So I appreciate your presence here, man.
Appreciate it.
Oh yeah.
Really do.
Well, yeah. Any last words before we end this thing?
Nah, man. I do appreciate it though, for sure.
Yeah. Well, that's it, y'all. Make sure you like. Dang it. I always do that. Make sure y'all like, comment, and subscribe, and share this video. Share with an athlete that may be going through a transition of themselves, but also maybe wanting to make it to the WNBA or even the NBA. This was a wonderful episode for even men to understand just the identity behind the jersey with a legend like Jaylyn Sherrod. So thank you guys for tuning in. We'll see you next time.